I'm Rabbi Eric Eisenkramer. Welcome. You are in the sanctuary of Temple B'nai Shalom in East Brunswick. We're the Reformed Temple. The Reform movement is relatively recent in Jewish history. It started about 200 years ago in Germany. And the movement, the ideals of the movement were to create a way that you could be fully modern and fully Jewish at the same time. So that means you can, have a job and participate fully in modern society, but also fully express your Judaism. It was very important to the Reform movement to have equality of men and women. So in the Reform movement, anything a man can do, a woman can do, including become a rabbi or a cantor and a service leader and chant from the Torah. We have made tremendous strides as a movement to really create a way of practicing Judaism that works for modern Jews. It's a beautiful spring day today, and we're heading directly into our temple. And as we make our way in, you will see we have a mosaic that greets all visitors with many of the important stories of the Torah, of the Jewish Bible, of Jewish history. We have right there in the center, Moses receiving the 10 Commandments from God. Below him there we see the Jews being held as slaves in Egypt, and slightly above that we have the splitting of the Red Sea and the Jews heading out to freedom. And in addition, on the left there, we have a depiction of the holiday of Hanukkah and the 9-branch menorah and the Jews who rededicated the temple and reaffirmed their freedom of worship. So these stories, they are our history, and they are retold and passed on from generation to generation. And as we enter our building now, we relive those stories and our Jewish holidays and our Jewish ethics, and we keep the Jewish traditions going, L'dor Vador, from generation to generation. Temple B'nai Shalom was founded in December of 1972 as the Reformed Temple of East Brunswick. And our founding rabbi is also our Rabbi Emeritus, Rabbi Eric Milgram, who's been with our congregation for over 50 years now. And originally, when we were founded, they put an ad in the newspaper and said, Jewish families want to get together and form a congregation. So they started meeting in people's homes. Things started to grow. They met at the old Ramada Inn. And they used to have a station wagon, and they would schlep all the prayer books, and they have a portable ark, and they started to form a congregation. And then they said, we need to have a religious school so our children can learn about Judaism and pass on the Jewish traditions to the next generation. So things started to grow and build, and then we purchased 10 acres of land at the corner of Fern and Old Stage Road, and our building was built in the late 70s, and it's a beautiful building that's served us well for over 50 years now. Our congregation continued to grow, and we have been a fixture of the Jewish community here in East Brunswick since that time. We are here in our rotunda. When you enter the temple, you come in right through these doors. You come into our rotunda, and you can either head into the sanctuary for worship services, or you can head into our social hall for events and good times spent together. I'm going to give you a tour of some of the important parts of our rotunda. So first we have our tallis rack. A tallis is the Jewish prayer shawl. This is worn during services in the morning here for our worship, and it symbolizes God's commandments and our connection to the divine. Moving along here in our rotunda, we have a display here that is dedicated to the memory of those who perished in the Holocaust and our Holocaust survivors. We have a board here, and you will see one listing as for martyrs, and those are names of loved ones from our congregation who were killed in the Holocaust as part of the 6 million Jews who were murdered. And then on the right, we have Holocaust survivors, members and loved ones of our congregation who survived the Holocaust and who we remember. We are reaching a point now. It has been over 75 years since the end of the Holocaust in 1945, and we need to continue to remember those who were lost, continue to teach the lessons of the Holocaust, lessons of standing up to hatred and creating understanding among one another. As we proceed along here in our rotunda, we have our Sisterhood gift shop. Our Sisterhood has put together this gift shop here, so people can purchase items of Judaica items that enhance for home, that enhance the Jewish rituals and holidays. We have a Seder plate that's used on Passover for the Seder meal, the ritual meal. We have candles. We have Kiddush cups that are used for drinking wine. And you can come and purchase all of these things so that you can enhance your Judaism where you in your home. So I'm the rabbi, so basically I just talk all day long, and I teach, and I also lead services, those are basically my main jobs. And I get to do life cycle events like weddings and bar and bat mitzvahs and baby namings, and unfortunately I have to do funerals too. And being there for people at these important moments in their lives is very meaningful and important. And then the cantor does our singing. He stands on the bema next to me, and our cantor is named Andrew Edison. He has an incredible voice, and he leads services with me, has special musical programs, and then we have our religious school director, Barbara Reese, and we have a religious school for our children here. And our children come from kindergarten through 10th grade, and they learn about Judaism and the Jewish traditions and how to be a good Jew and how to practice the holidays, and they have a good time, and that's our main staff. This is our sanctuary at Temple B'nai Shalom, built over 50 years ago, where we hold all of our worship services. We observe the Sabbath, Shabbat, and all of our holidays here with our congregation. This is the bema. The bema means raised platform, and all synagogues have a bema where worship takes place. As you can see, there are 3 podiums here in our sanctuary. The center podium is where the Torah scroll is read from, the Jewish Bible. And then there is a space for myself, the rabbi, over there, and a space for the cantor who leads our worship in song. If you look straight ahead, you will see the ark. The ark is the most important element in any Jewish sanctuary, and it contains the Torah scroll. The Torah is the 5 books of Moses, or the Jewish Bible, which is the most holy and sacred object in Jewish tradition. Every Torah scroll is written with the same exact letters. There are 603,000 letters in a Torah scroll, and if you have 3 mistakes in your Torah, you're not able to use it. There's a special person named a scribe who takes about a year to write every Torah scroll. And we're very fortunate in our congregation to have 5 Torah scrolls here, and they are very sacred and holy to us. And by the way, when you have a Torah and the Torah is out of the ark, we parade the Torah around the sanctuary. And if you drop the Torah, you're not supposed to eat for 40 days. So I always tell everybody, just make sure you hold on to that Torah. I've never seen a Torah dropped. I've never seen that happen, and we're not going to start with that either. I'd like to highlight this Torah scroll on the right here. This Torah scroll is a Holocaust scroll. It was saved from the Holocaust. During the Holocaust, when the Nazis were overtaking Europe, they destroyed many synagogues, and there were fragments of Torah scrolls and some Torah scrolls that were able to be saved. And then they were refurbished by a synagogue in London and put on permanent loan to congregations. So we are very fortunate to be able to house this important Holocaust scroll. And when we read from this scroll, it reminds us of the 6 million who were lost and to honor their memory. Our sanctuary serves many important purposes. It's our place of worship, and all of our life cycle events take place here. So we have the baby namings that take place, and a bris that can take place right here on the bema. We have our bar and bat mitzvah services. We set up a chuppah, the canopy, the wedding canopy, right on our bema, and I have the great honor of officiating at weddings right here in our sanctuary. And when a loved one passes, we will hold a funeral service here in our sanctuary. So this room has been a holy place for the Reformed Jews of our community for over 50 years, where they've celebrated all their life cycle events, where we have worshiped and followed the Jewish traditions. Here in our sanctuary, there are other important symbols. Right above the center podium here is our Ner Tamid, our eternal light. All synagogues have an eternal light that is kept on at all times. So even when it is completely dark in the rest of the building, that light is kept on. And recently we replaced it with an LED, and it's serving us very well. Here in our sanctuary, we remember loved ones who have passed. And we have our memorial boards, our yahrzeit plaques. Yahrzeit is an anniversary of passing. And each year, when the yahrzeit, the anniversary of passing, arrives, the plaque is lit, and the name of the loved one is read during our services. This is a way to honor their lives and to remember them. Our sanctuary also contains 4 stained glass images. This first one here that you are looking at is a picture of the Torah scroll itself, and it's the very beginning of the Torah, Bereshit. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and there is symbolism of the earth, of nature, of the creation of the world. There's the tree of life in the middle of the stained glass, and beautiful waterfalls, and the sun above, and this symbolizes God's role in the creation of the world and in the beauty of nature that we see around us. There are 3 other panels. The next panel in our sanctuary represents education, and that has a symbol of a bar bat mitzvah, of a child chanting from the Torah and becoming a Jewish adult. This is one of the most sacred and holy life cycle events in our Jewish tradition, and the children practice for years to learn their prayers, to learn the Hebrew language, and to have the great honor of chanting from the Torah scroll. Our third stained glass window represents wedding and marriage, and there is a chuppah symbolized, and a couple joining together to create a new Jewish family. And there's a little broken shard of glass, because at the end of every wedding ceremony, you break the glass and you go, Mazel Tov! And finally, our 4th stained glass window represents our connection to the divine. It represents eternity. There is a ladder on it, which represents the biblical story of Jacob and the ladder that stretched from earth up to heaven, and represents our connection to God in eternity. So Temple B'nai Shalom is founded on the principles that the Rabbi stated, which is that a synagogue should be a house of prayer, a house of worship, and a place of community. So those are our 3 pillars: prayer, learning, and community. Of course, we have our worship services every week here and for holidays. And for learning, we have our religious school. And in our religious school, our children learn all the traditions and holidays of Judaism. And they also experience Judaism, and they learn what it feels to be Jewish. And so they learn about how to be Jewish, and they feel it in their heart, what it means to be a Jew. We also continue education for adults. I offer a Bible and bagel, and we have a film series, and I try not to do anything at the temple where I don't feed people, because I know everybody comes to eat first, because they're Jewish. And along with our education, we're a place of community. We're a place where people can support one another. We have great programs all throughout the year. We have speakers, we have social programs, we have a men's club, and we have a sisterhood, and we are just a place where people can come. And the temple is meant to be a second home for people. It's meant to be a place of spirituality, of learning, and a place of comfort. In Yiddish, we have this word called hamisha, which means warm. So that's what the temple's supposed to be. It's meant to be a place of warmth where people are welcomed in. This is our social hall. After services each week, we gather here for an oneg. An oneg means delight, and we come and we eat. We nosh, we have cookies and treats. This is our room, also our sanctuary on our high holy days. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur expands, and we place chairs here for all the worshipers to join us. And this is our room of celebration. We hold bar and bat mitzvah parties here, and receptions here, and social events. And this is the room where you come to eat and enjoy yourself and be with your Jewish community. You know, I think our congregation is holding steady and represents Reform Judaism here in East Brunswick. COVID was a very interesting time, I think, for all houses of worship. And I remember about a year before COVID, one of the members said to me, maybe we should try to find a way to videotape services. And I said, how could we possibly ever do that? And then COVID hit, and we figured it out in about a week. So, of course, during COVID, we had all of our services virtually so that our congregation could continue to remain connected to their Judaism. And then when COVID ended, we've maintained that because we find that, for people who are ill or who are older and unable to come to the building, this is a way for them to maintain their connection to their temple. Part of being a Reform congregation means you keep the traditions, but you also adapt to modern times. So that's going to be our mandate going forward too, which is how do we continue to make Judaism relevant for the new generations, but also maintain all the traditions and holidays that have made Judaism so strong for 4,000 years. Now, as we are entering now our religious school hallway, this is where our children come to learn further down the hallway in our classrooms. And we have our children learn beginning in kindergarten here at the temple. And our temple our religious school is named the Daniel Pearl Education Center. Daniel Pearl was the Wall Street Journal reporter who was killed in 2002 by terrorists in Pakistan. And his legacy lives on in the Daniel Pearl Education Center here at Temple B'nai Shalom. Among the many programs that the Daniel Pearl Education Center runs is a yearly trip to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. We have taken over 1,000 children, children from here from our temple and from other houses of worship here in town to this museum over the years so that they too can learn the lessons of tolerance and understanding. We're a part of the community, and we've been a part for 50 years. And we're very active in the Interfaith Clergy Council also here at the temple. The Clergy Council was actually, I believe it was founded by Rabbi Milgram. I participate in all the meetings and events, and I love the events that we run, like the Interfaith Thanksgiving service, and we actually do a National Day of Prayer that comes up in early May. But in addition to that, just knowing all the other clergy people is so important. I know all the ministers in town, I know all the different clergy people, and that really builds a sense of connection to one another. So we were very pleased to welcome Vibrant Church into our building. They are in our lower level, and every Sunday they hold worship, and I can kind of hear the music coming up through the floor, which is really neat. They're a very musical congregation, and we love having them here. And I think it's a testament to how East Brunswick should be, which is where houses of worship can work together and help each other.